Most days life out here is pretty simple. There's always something to fix. Yeah, you can see how this panel's bent, the frame bent a little bit right here. Something to build. Something to plant. And honestly, that's what I love about it. I came out here to get away from all the noise, to strip everything back and find out who I truly was without all the distractions. But even off-grid in the quiet, things in my head can still get pretty loud. At a certain point, I started noticing the tension, like I was going through the motions, but something deeper was still off. I've done a lot of work out here on the land, but I realized I hadn't done the same kind of work internally. And that's when the opportunity came up to attend an ayahuasca retreat in Maine at a place called Pachamama Sanctuary. Ayahuasca is something I felt called to do for the last 20 years, not for some big revelation. I kind of went with no expectations, but I definitely felt there was something I needed to see, something I needed to learn about myself. And even though I couldn't bring the camera in to film some of the ceremonies, which is probably a good thing, I did bring something else home. A new way of looking at the life I'm living here, off-grid in Tennessee. This video isn't about ayahuasca or plant medicine itself, but more a reflection on how the experience has affected me now that I've returned home. It's honestly the best sound ever, the sound of nature all around me. It's super peaceful, brings me back to a calm space in my head. Before I left, I had a lot of people asking me why ayahuasca, why am I doing it now? And to be honest, I really didn't have this big dramatic reason. I wasn't in crisis. I know I said I felt called to do it for a long time, but there's always been a part of me internally that I felt went unhealed for most of my adult life. And maybe I attribute it to some of the bad decisions that I've made in my life, but I guess healing was what I wanted. I really tried to go with no expectations, or at least minimal expectations, because I know me personally, if they weren't met, I would have been let down and maybe I wouldn't have gotten anything from the whole experience. I have a lot of regrets in my life, and even though I'm busting my butt out here on the property, that inner voice still comes up every day telling me that I'm not doing enough. There's a lot of old stuff buried deep within me that I've kind of just ignored for the majority of my life, and it was time to face them head on. So I went, not to find answers, but to face whatever was ready to come up.
Safe travels.
There, thank you.
The scariest part of this journey wasn't taking part in a plant medicine ceremony. It was stepping beyond the familiar rhythm of my off-grid life and into a wider world again. While I ventured out here and there when needed, this was the farthest I've gone in years. Thankfully, the retreat was here in the US, tucked away in Maine, so I didn't have to cross oceans to take this leap. Still, it felt like crossing an invisible threshold. Well, I made it. The weather's beautiful, and so's this place. Wow. Any anxiety I had about traveling quickly subsided once I got to the sanctuary. All the staff seemed really cool. The place was really nice. And walking around, I got a good feel for the energy of it. It was pretty welcoming space. Just got to meet some of the staff. Everybody was super nice. It's really nice inside. Show you all later. For now, I'm going to take a walk on one of the trails that's on their 40-some acre property. This place has a good vibe to it. You can feel like a positive energy here. I feel like I'm prepared. It's been 20 years that I've wanted to do an ayahuasca ceremony, and I actually, for the first time in my life, when I'm about to do something, I feel fully prepared. I better get back on the path. I kind of wandered off a little bit following those tracks. I don't want to get lost. I think one of the reasons I felt so comfortable there is because it was nestled in the woods, so it was just like I was home. I'm super thankful that none of the panels broke in that hailstorm that we had. That was freaky. It just came out of nowhere.
Wow, that's really great that they're not broken, because
Yeah.
I was a little concerned. That was some heavy hail.
Yep.
Garlic's getting right.
Yeah, the garlic looks awesome.
It's gonna be ready soon.
Yeah. So cool.
I'm thinking of just replacing it with onion bulbs
Why not?
whenever it's done.
Yeah, that'll work.
There's 55.
It's a lot of garlic.
Yeah.
Being that I got there a day earlier than everybody else that was going to be at this retreat, it gave me a lot of time to contemplate what was actually to come. So the nerves started setting in. So here's the day one. I arrived a day earlier than everybody, so I got to sleep in the ceremony room all by myself, which was a cool vibe in here last night. Got the sunrise coming in through those windows. Beautiful way to wake up. I'm a little bit nervous for my first ceremony later tonight, but I'm also excited. I'm interested to meet everybody. Hopefully we all vibe together. It's kind of hard not to in this space. Springy.
Can you see the future? But you're tall enough to fit in there, and we can
yeah.
still reach anything that grows up here.
Yep. Perfect. So even though I've been reflecting on that first ayahuasca ceremony for the past month now, it's still a lot to unpack, and I still don't know how to describe it. The best way I could say it was intense, raw, and a little bit scary at first. Well, now I know why they don't allow you to film the ayahuasca ceremony. Last night was intense. I honestly don't have the words to describe it. I'm still unpacking it and all. It was a really good night though. We just finished breathwork today. I broke out spontaneously in tears. I had such an energy release. I've never felt anything like that before. It felt freeing. It's really good. I've only got like 2 hours sleep, and the second ayahuasca ceremony is in about an hour. I gotta go through with the rest of the weekend before I can really tell if it helped or if I'm getting the results that I was expecting. I know I said I wasn't trying to come in here expecting nothing, but I mean, I guess it's pretty hard to do when you've been wanting to do this for so many years like I have. One thing I can say definitively right now about Pachamama Sanctuary is the food and the staff are amazing. Does that look good?
Yeah, it looks great. Give you guys the full tour. Look at that. Would you look at that? That's nice. Now we just need some walls on it and you can just stay in there.
Okay, is that how you want me to build our permanent house? Just a living cattle panel? Yeah.
Nice, huh? Proud of yourself?
Sure. I mean, it's just pretty simple. We should have did this in the first place.
I know.
Originally, I wanted to film this whole experience a little bit differently, but looking back, I don't think it would have been possible. After the first plant ceremony, I quickly realized that I was in it. There was no room for being creative in another way. I just kind of was focused on experiencing the experience. So I got my journal here that I was writing in while I was there. Now, just to set the scene for you a little bit, there was so much going on in that ceremony room. You had people who were crying over in this corner. You had someone over here who was going through whatever he was going through, the demons he was letting out. He was flopping around like a fish. You had people that were screaming at the top of their lungs. It was kind of a mix of a lot of raw emotions coming from everywhere. It's kind of weird though. I was able to focus on myself internally with all that going on. So it wasn't distracting, but it was just a different experience than what I thought I was going to have. The surroundings were primal, and taking part in something that has been going on for thousands of years gave me a sense of connection. When the effects first started taking hold, that was the first thought that came to mind, was that this was something that people have been participating in for thousands of years, and I felt honored to be taking part in it. I didn't have any revelations that first night. It kind of was just everything flooded into the forefront of my brain and in my mind, and I kind of was just sat with it. The following day in the early afternoon, we started on breathwork, and I've done breathwork on my own in the past few years, and I've never had an experience quite like this. I literally burst out into tears. I felt such a wave of emotions that just, like, I had this release, like all the things that were coming up in the previous night's ceremony just were there, and I felt this release. Not fully, but it almost was like I gave myself permission to start healing. I don't know if that makes sense, but I still don't understand a lot of the emotions that I was having the entire time I was there. Some of them were brand new to me, or maybe I just haven't felt them in such a long time that I forgot what they feel like. The journey's just beginning now. The medicine doesn't fix you. It gave me some realizations. It opened me up to healing. The rest of the work I feel is now on me. Living here off grid, being kind of removed from all the normal problems that I used to have in the outside world, I feel being secluded like this, just me and my wife, is going to allow me to spend a lot of this time not only building up our property, but truly healing inside. My intentions are to purge away negative feelings about myself, to rid my body of years of abuse, to completely cleanse. I put here, I went to the bathroom beforehand so I don't mess my pants, because that has been known to happen. So a lot of the feelings that I was dealing with when I was going through the ceremony, I'm going to keep to myself. A lot of it's really personal and things that I need to work through to heal. But sharing what this experience was like without being able to film it was actually really difficult for me to do. There's certainly a lot to unpack after this weekend's experience. It's a very positive one. I still don't know a lot of it means. It was difficult at the same time as it was amazing. I'm actually proud of myself for going through some of the things that I was able to go through. One of the best parts about this weekend was the group of people that I had here with me experiencing this ceremony. I thought purging, vomiting into a bucket in front of all kinds of people would be a very vulnerable state to be in and hard to share, but it wasn't. I feel like this was just the beginning of a journey for me. not the end. But it's definitely where I'm starting down a path to a better me. I hope one day in the near future I'll be able to film myself going through one of these ceremonies so I can better explain what goes on in one, because I'll tell you, a great experience, but something I really don't know how to convey to all of you. There was so much going on the entire weekend that time just flew by. Before I knew it, it was time to go home. I know Justin the dogs miss me. I'm excited to go home and bring back the lessons I've learned, the feelings I have, and hopefully can implement them in my life. Giant milkweed.
Sounded promising. Yep. Oh yeah.
That worked.
Have you noticed any differences since you've been back?
And what, me?
Mm-hmm. Your life, the way you see things?
I mean, I think before I went, I struggled a lot with patience. I mean, you know, I was very impatient and wanted things to go perfect or the world was collapsing, for me at least. That's what I felt. Kind of feel now that I've been back, I've been shown to kind of like relax and chill out a little bit, that things aren't as serious as I'm making them out to be. And if I just trust the universe, things seem to work out. I think that's the biggest lesson that I've taken from that whole experience and brought back home, and I think it's greatly improved how our life has been so far living off grid here. Don't you agree?
I 100% agree.
Our relationship is doing 1,000 times better than it was before I left. The main thing I got to remember is that that was just the beginning of this whole journey. The real work started when I came home, and it's going to be a lifelong process of integration, practicing meditation, journaling, being conscious of my actions and my thoughts. This wasn't a take medicine and you're fixed. This was something that just initiated the change. But I do feel better. I do feel like I started the healing process, but I definitely have a long way to go. And I think there probably is another ayahuasca ceremony in my life in the future, I hope.
Can you hear it?
Bees are swarming. Can you see them? I know you're scared.
Oh, wow.
Give me the camera. I know you're scared.
No way, I'm out of
I don't know if you can see, but luckily they're going onto the tree right there, really low to the ground, so that's cool. It's gonna make it a whole lot easier to get them.
Come on, guys, stay back here. He is so brave. Guys, I'm very sorry that you can't get a better view than what I'm giving you, but this is because, oh my God. Oh my word. Oh, I'm freaking out. Oh, they're re-swarming back on the tree. I know you can't see much going on from here. Oh my word.
Looks like they might be going in. Sweet. Still got a bunch on the tree, but well, we'll see how they do. They look like they're all going inside, so we should be good. Hey, got 2 hives now. Very cool. I wanted to say thank you to Derek, the owner of Pachamama Sanctuary, And all of the volunteers there, they were amazing. I honestly don't think I would have been able to make it through some of the experiences without them. Bryce, Chris, you guys were awesome. The whole volunteer base there was amazing. The food was amazing. We're going to be leaving a link to a GoFundMe in the description of this video. The cook there wrote a Ayahuasca Dieta cookbook that she's trying to raise funding for the editing of it. And really great project. It has a lot of great recipes in there. And the understanding of food and how it reacts to their body. Really cool project that I would love to support. But all in all, my experience there was pretty fantastic. Wasn't at all what I expected, but at the same time, still amazing. Thank you all for hosting me and having me there. It was an honor. It's important to note that all the ceremonies at Pachamama Sanctuary are led by indigenous shaman from South America. And I just want to say that I'm truly honored that you were willing to share your culture and your healing practices with me. It was a great honor to take part in it. Thank you very much. And look at that. They all went inside. And just like that, I have another beehive. All right, everybody, I really appreciate you watching. I know this video was a little bit different than what we normally put out, but I really wanted to share that amazing experience with you. And look who made it safely.
I'm here, earned my keep already. I found a hive, found a swarm of bees. So we already captured a beehive, got one more beehive.
There you go.
What am I going to do today?
There's plenty of stuff to do around here. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time. Keep growing.